Yes, sir. So the rest of what I'm going to talk about now, really, which is the response to Buju Banton, is the part where what I focus on is socio-economic strategy, right? So before we go into the details of what we would do, we're just assessing the situation, right? So, musically speaking, what is Afrobeats? What does Afrobeats owe to reggae? The I correctly said that no, it doesn't owe anything to reggae musically. And that is a wise thing because, like you would have said, okay, dancehall owes something to reggae musically because a lot of the rhythms from reggae were reused. You know, that's why Bunny Wailer would sing the song. Man, where you get the rhythm them from? You just a guan so man, we make your galang so. I just can't take anymore, man. You know, and that's the reality, right? Because you know that even Bunny Wailer get bottled, they throw bottle after Bunny Wailer because the format did not fit the crowd. You know, and that's not right. So within that type of context, you know, you would have said, well, dancehall needs to give a lot of props to reggae, and th- there's no question there. That's the proper thing to say. Now, the dancehall beat in itself, tick, 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 like really, that beat there is a Pokumina beat. It's a church beat. You know, I walked past the church when I was living in Harlesden in London, and I just heard it. I said, boy, there's a ragga that we're playing at church. I said, let me go past the ragga church. And I did go into the church, you know, because that's how I am. I'm a community person, so I must go check it out. Let me just go check out this church. One Sunday, go there. Apart from the fact that there was one nice woman there, and I was thinking, you know what, well, that's a different story still, but it's reality. So I went there in the church, and you know, because I used to say, I'm gonna come to your raga church. I said, well, you're a nice girl. I'm gonna come to your raga church. So you go to that church, the raga church. I say, I'll come in the raga church, Kensal Green, you know, right opposite the hostel where I was living, and there was the church. It's gone now. It's gone now. Anyway, so I went into that church, and what a service! Even within the service, something was going on because the preacher was talking about one young youth who was there who was gonna leave and go study and everything. So everybody was saying goodbye to him. He was a captain and the community, and the whole thing was like I was like, wow, I'm part of something really special here, you know. But more like the way the people were dressed and the candles and the spirit and all of that. It reminded me of a church that one of my grandmother's friends used to go to in Africa, and we call those churches, we call them Zion churches. So if you go check the history, you'll see that we had a whole movement of Zion churches, which is around the same time you had the Pentecostal moving through Jamaica with Robert Lyle. I think he came from America, and they brought the whole Pentecostal movement. You know, there's the whole thing, the difference between the Pentecostal and the Baptist and all of that. So by the time Rasta come along, the Pentecostal was the Rasta did frown upon the Pentecostal. You know, the whole thing about going in the spirit and all of that, that was not a Rasta thing. Rasta was like, you know, because God, you know, God is man, you know, so Rasta would more like the whole spirit going in the spirit thing is not really original Rasta, you know. So so that's the thing, is like when Bob Marley would go in the spirit and everything, that's more Pentecostal thing than a Rasta thing, because Rasta is more like the logic of, see, Jah, Hail Selassie, you know, and everybody just, you know, common sense, right? All right. So that Zion movement in Africa was happening around the same time that was happening in Jamaica, and it was freeing the people, and we that was also what led to the movement of Zion movement in Zimbabwe, in South Africa. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about music that's freeing the people, you know, we got to be serious and know that that was going on already. I just want to make sure that I don't run out of power. You know, blood clot charger. You see what I'm saying? So that's Zionist movement, not Zionist. Sorry, Zionist is a different thing altogether. Zion, African Zion Church, called African Zion.